Hi guys, this is my first video in English. My name is Aldo Pellegrini and this is Guitar Skin. I'm used to talk about Quad Cortex and preset sound for guitar. This video is dedicated to scene and preset, how to manage scene, how to manage different effect blocks, and how to deal in to modify everything and to have all what you need in 8 scenes without changing preset. So let's move on and we go to Cortex control to understand better what I mean. Okay, the first thing we have to understand is what is a preset? The preset is basically your rig, is your amp, your cabinet, your microphone, or your pedal board with different effects, okay? That's the main point. So usually when you go to have a play, to have a tour, to play with your friend, you take your amp, your guitar, and your effect, and you start playing. So this is the preset. Basically, it's your own rig. And usually you can have one rig per night, or because we are working on digital modeler and we are lucky, we can have different rig for each song or each type of music we are going to play during the night. For example, if you have a cover band, for rock cover band, 70, 80, 90, maybe you can have different presets. One preset is for AC/DC, another preset is for Guns N' Roses, another preset is for Whitesnake. And so then into each preset you have scenes, and you have 8 different scenes, and on each of that you can put different effects or same effect with different parameters. It's really important to understand the difference between preset and scene. Now we can see in the Cortex control what I mean, and we can check together how to deal in different scenes. So your scenes basically are your different sound for each song. A could be a clean, B scene could be a little crunch, and C a crunch, and D a little distorted sound, and then a lead and more effects, what you want. 8 different scenes. I hope that you are not able to finish a song with 8 different scenes. So 8 different scenes for one song is enough to have different sound, starting from the intros to the end of the song, I think. So let's deal in, and we create a new preset, start from 0, just to check how to manage different parameters and different blocks. Okay, let's start. We're going to create a new preset from 0. Okay, an amp block, and immediately I put also a cab block. Okay, take this one. Okay, we are in scene A. The first trick is, if you have an effect block or amp block that you want to work with only in one scene, for example, or in 2 scenes, the first thing you have to do when you put in the block in your grid is to turn it off. Let me show you better here. Okay, we are A, turn it off. As you can see now, scene B, C, D, everything is off. Now you can assign each parameter of each block per scene. So it means that each scene can have blocks with different parameters and setting. So now right click, assign to scene, and now turn it on. So, scene A, amp is on. Scene B, amp is off. Scene C, amp is off. Because before to assign some parameter to a scene, you should turn off the effect block. In that way, all the other bank will have off that cap block or amp block. So this is a trick to speed up your workflow. So then each parameter of, for example, of this amp, but it's the same for other block, can be assigned to different scenes. And now we are going to see how to work with. Okay, basically for each block you can assign different parameters each scene. How to do it? The same as we did for the on-off button. So I go over the parameter, gain in this case of this amp, and right-click, assign to scene. The same on bass, mids, treble, EQ, parameter, everything you want, you have to assign to different scene. And if you change some parameter here, it doesn't affect the standard setting you had in the beginning. So if I turn on scene B and I see on scene A, you can see the gain is different because now each scene is independent in terms of parameters for that block. Let's create a standard, a really fast preset just to understand better what you can do each scene. String chorus, this is where it is, string chorus, this one. Then put dual delay, this one, okay, and a reverb, all. Okay, so basically I know that I'm gonna use for sure a comp in a clean sound but not in a distortion. So I decided to make the same we did before for the amp. The first, turn it off, and then assign to scene, right click, and then turn it on. Why? Because on the second scene you can see it's off. Okay, I want to decide if turn it on or off each scene. So to do that I do the same, turn off the dream chorus and then turn it on again when I have seen a scene, do a delay, turn it off, right click, assign to scene, and then turn it on again. Reverb, I have a reverb on all my scenes, so I just will change parameters. Another point is you must assign all different parameters for each block if you want to modify some parameters in different scenes. And unfortunately it's manual operation. So I go over mix, assign to scene. I go over decade, right click, assign to scene. The same, pre-delay, high gain, low pass, trials. The same for each block now, you should do that. Feedback on the delay, sync, mix, delay. Sorry, you can see here it's assigned to my expression pedal because you can also save some parameters as default. Okay, the same for the chorus. Now we change depth, output, mode, chorus. Amp, no, because when I set my microphone and cabinet, usually I don't modify it in a single preset, because in one preset I try to maintain the same cabinet and the same mic position. Usually, yes, you can modify also, sure, but usually to have a consistency of your sound is suggested to maintain the same. And then the same for the compressor. Okay, we change all the parameters for. So how it sound now? Okay, now I can increase the delay. Modify maybe a little bit a comp mix and the Q mix and the quantity of the comp. Okay, if I want to increase the mix of the delay, for example, now see that 40%. If I turn it on in the scene B, you will see 14. Why? Because I assign this parameter to scene. So each scene has, the standard parameter was 14 and now I modify to 40. This is the meaning. So you can have different parameter each scene. Okay. we have a clean sound. In the second box, the scene B, so we have the clean. I can decide if to turn it on or off, and I can modify parameters. If I go up with the gain here, you will see nothing happened to the gain on the scene A, because I already assigned each parameter for each scene. That's really important. Okay, scene B, I want to add some distortion. I want exotic Z boost, but let me show you. Now, as standard, the effect block is on, and if you go through different scenes, you will see it on everywhere. That's why it's important for this first step, turn it off, and then a scene to scene, and then you can turn it on again. So now, check, scene C is off. Scene A was my clean sound, is off. Perfect. Now we can deal in just to check what happened. Okay, maybe I want to decrease the decade of my reverb. Perfect. Now we have a crunch and we have a clean. More effect, more wet sound, and this more direct. Okay, in this way you can manage 8 different scenes. Okay, let's move on scene C. Now I want to have a lead. We can add a new amp, maybe the Victor Squid Channel 2. Yes. Remember, turn it off in the beginning. Otherwise, you will find it on all your previous scenes. Now, right-click, assign to scene, and turn it on. So, I can decide how to manage my amp. I can decide to have more delay and a higher mix of reverb, modify my gain treble on the overdrive. Okay, in this way, now you have clean sound here. Crunch on the second scene. And you can do the same for 8 different scenes, 8 different sounds, also with different amp if you want, like now. And another thing you should know is, for example, I know that this kind of setting for the clean sound of this amp, I love it, and I want to replace every time as standard setting. I can just click here on the 3 dots and then to set parameters as default. What does it mean? That the parameters I set now, I will save and I will find every time I bring the block into my row. So every time I pick this block, I will find these parameters that I have saved. Now we saw how to make different sound in one preset. And as you can hear, the gapless. When you're looking for something gapless, scene is the answer, okay? In Quad Cortex, it's the unique method using scene to avoid the gap. So, okay, now we have 2 different scenes. One is clean, one is crunch, another one is lead. So, now go down, gig view, you can see preset, scene, and stomp. Okay, now we have, for example, our scene. This is the clean one. I want to modify the name. Confirm, clean set. What you can do here, just drag and you can change the position. Now you have your clean here and this is the crunch. Now I change again, maybe we can set this in orange and crunch. And you can see crunch now is here, clean is here, and so on. Another thing you can, for example, on crunch, you can push your Alt button for Mac, and I think the same for the PC, and you can drag down. Basically, you have copied your crunch on another scene as a starting point to create a new scene as you want. Another thing to know is that you can, for example, assign a different view on your Quad Cortex. Now you will see in your Quad Cortex all these blocks basically are your pedal on Quad Cortex, no? Pedal 1, pedal B, A, B, C. I can go over here to modify my view on Quad Cortex and have it the hybrid view. Now I will have on the top 4 preset and on the bottom 4 scene. What does it mean? If you are working in hybrid mode, you can just work with 4 scenes and not with 8 scenes. So you have to know it. And which scenes are activated? I will see the E, the F, the G, and H. If I modify the setting and I change and I flip the setting, I will see scene on the top and the scene activated will be A, B, C, D. Okay? If you don't want that, just remove and reset as default. And then you have the stomp. You can also modify and connect scene with stomp, preset with scene as you want. So that's another thing. And the last one, I want to assign a block to a stomp. So you can see here in the stomp mode, assign to G, assign this one to A. Okay, when I have the stomp, I can add or I can turn off. Maybe it's better using for the H, the delay. No delay, no reverb. So in this way, when you flip your view and you have the Stompbox view, you can turn on and off all your Stompbox, your effect, your pre-assigned effect. Okay, so you have the flexibility to manage your sound directly. Okay, so guys, that's all. It's my first English video, so sorry for my pronunciation. I hope you can understand what I mean. And if you like this channel and what we are talking about, subscribe my channel and select the bell to be informed when we can arrange a new video. I hope you enjoy this time and hope to be helpful for you, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.